you all come and you all come together to actually achieve that goal. And you can think of collaboration as, it can be anywhere in the world and you are contributing to, okay, I'll give you an instance. When you are, there is, when you have a Git rep or something, or there is, you're trying to contribute to a project, let me use that as an example. You're far away, but you're just dumping codes in a project just to build a product, and that can also be collaboration. But when it comes to collaboration, I want to see it as I want to say it simply means to work jointly rather than independently to accomplish a task. So that means I can work with you, or two or three or more persons to complete a task. And when I look at collaboration, I can actually do collaboration, from my home, without even talking to you, right? But when it comes to Agile does not see collaboration like that, because we have tools and processes. So you can actually collaborate with people to collaborate, just using those tools and processes being set, by the organization. But Agile is fixated on communication, and that's what we're going to look at now. So let's look at the 4 values of Agile Manifesto. I don't want to take us far, but we're just going to look at these 4 values. And Agile was keen on, this particular 2. So if 2 of them talks about collaboration, then you should know that Agile is keen on collaboration. So there's one called individuals and interactions over processes and tools. I think in Agile methodologies, it stresses these benefits, right, of working on cross-functional teams. We say is a buzzword for, tech teams and all. I work in a cross-functional team, but you can also work in a cross-functional team without communicating. I mean communicating as in oral communication or chats or calls and all. That's what I mean by my own communication. But you can also communicate by creating tickets on Jira, right? Creating tickets on Jira, those are your tools. Also writing a good user story, and also telling them, giving them your acceptance criteria. Then a developer comes there and comments, okay, what do you mean by this? And you just type and you just move on. But Agile stresses on communication. So they're saying that they prefer individuals and interactions over processes and tools. And the processes and tools, like I just mentioned, are your Jira tools, your Jira softwares. It can also be every other tool or processes you've put in place. So they're saying individuals and interactions can can take over processes and tools. And also they're looking at customer collaboration over contracts. There are contracts today that, you've signed contracts, let's just move on and all. But in Agile development, they're just saying that they will rather, have a controlled, have a type of culture where people collaborate, even with your customers. You can call your customers, speak to your customers and all. So rather than just, focus on, okay, there's a contract we signed and all, this is how, let's just build and move on. So Agile is focused on these 2 values: individuals and interactions over processes and tools, customer collaboration over contracts and negotiation. I'm focusing on those 2 because they are talking about collaboration. So I think I like this quote about collaboration. It says, Agile methodologies emphasize the value of collaboration as an effective way to build workable solutions to complex problems. When a group of people work together to achieve a common goal by sharing their ideas and skills, they are more likely to get the desired results faster and more efficiently. So that is what that is why collaboration is a key ingredient in in a software team. And as a tester or a QA personnel, you need to collaboration is something you need to have in front of you. You need to collaborate, speak all the time, and sometimes we are too formal because we're in the office. That's where we want to just communicate. No, you can also communicate in an informal way outside the organization. That way you understand what you're building. or what you're testing. Imagine, you're in a gathering and you're still discussing with the developer about a particular project or a particular feature they are building. I think at that point they can open up in such a way, in an informal way, to explain these things better to you. So imagine, when you're in that kind of environment, I think sometimes you get things better than being in your formal environment where you're all acting professional. So that is why collaboration is key. Collaboration is key, in testing. Collaboration is key even if you're not in an agile environment, in an organization where you don't practice agile. Collaboration is still key. In your homes, collaboration is key. But collaboration, when I'm talking about it, is more of communication. Not just, there are ways you can communicate without, speaking to somebody, but I feel communication is a key ingredient to collaboration. It's just one very big side of collaboration. So we're going to look at how we can facilitate and optimize collaboration. I have, sorry, let me just, my slide is moving. Sorry, give me a minute. Okay. And that's, so we can also look at how we can facilitate and optimize collaboration. And I'm saying, begin testing from an early stage, right? So you can, these days, I think people just wait for, a feature to be, for developers to start building a feature. Then all of a sudden they start testing at the end of, that immediately the feature is pushed, there's a code review and it's pushed for testing. But we're saying that you can begin testing at an early stage. Traditionally the role of a tester might not even begin before the developers are done with the feature. You can come in during requirements gathering and you can tell them, okay, fine, this idea you just talked about, I'm just imagining how we can, when the feature is built, how we can test it. I don't think it makes sense, or I don't think our users would do something this way or do something that way. You can come in at that stage and you can make corrections so that when it's time to now do your proper testing, you don't have so much to start doing or trying to break the system and all, because you fixed all of that from the beginning. So that's the way you can optimize and you can facilitate and optimize collaboration. That's one of it. So another is keeping up to date with each other's activity. So having, sometimes you can have cabin talks, like you can stroll, you can get out of those your formal environments, you can meet up and, you can talk about things, you can bring up work discussion, when you're together. And that way it means you're keeping in touch, you're keeping up to date with the activities. That way it gives you, I think that, you start bonding with your developer, with maybe your product manager or whoever you want to bond with. But I think that helps a lot when you, to collaborate, outside work, environments, you're keeping up to date with somebody's or your colleagues' activities. Then also you want to ensure, I think I can't see that properly, sorry, because okay. You want to ensure your testing team participates in code reviewing. And I know some of us at this point, we're thinking we want to just do manual testing or automation and all. But I think, to me, sometimes I say, okay, there are stages to these things. You can start, as a manual tester, and also you can move on to become an automation tester, right? So when, automation tester means that you need to write snippets of codes, you need to write scripts, to run, to do this and do that. So that means that if you, sorry, I think I moved away from what I was supposed to show, sorry. That means that, or in many organizations today, code reviewing is an activity, but it is being done by developers. But in your own organization, you can decide to say, you know what, I want to participate in this code review. And at that point now, you're participating, you might not even really know how to code so much, but because of collaboration, because of how, how close you are with these people, you've imbibed that collaboration from the start. A developer might be able to put you through how code reviews are done and, teach you how to write small, snippets of code. And you can also help yourself by learning online to do these things. That way, when they are reviewing doing the code review, you can chip in one or two. Everyone is carried along. So these are ways you can optimize or facilitate collaboration. You know, if you don't know how to code, it's not a problem at this point. You can also ask questions. Like we always say, there's no stupid question when it comes to software development. No questions are stupid. You can come in and ask any question, and people are willing to help all the time. So if you know how to communicate and you know how to collaborate, I think things will move smoothly for you. The next one is a way we're looking at how we can enhance collaboration between developers and testers. I think I wrote an article sometime in 2008. Thanks to Toby, he was pushing me. You need to write an article about something, and I think the title was "Testers and the Common Goal." There's always a friction between testers and developers, right? When we talk about collaboration, sometimes we're not talking about just the organization. We're talking about the people you work mostly with, and these guys are the developers, right? So this article was talking about how we can, work with them. There are times you can have, there are times you can have frictions and all, but the goal here is, or what you need to realize is, you guys are all pursuing a common goal, right? The goal is to push out a working software. And as a tester, you are not, the product is not more important to you than everyone else. As a developer, the product is not important to you than, not more important to you than every other team or something like that. A product manager, yes, they act like they are the owners of the product, but it's not more important to them than, everyone. We all have a common goal. That's why, a developer is writing the codes, or product manager is saying, okay, fine, telling them what to build and prioritizing tasks. Developers are building, then testers are testing. So, and as we're doing all this collaboratively, we're trying to actually push out something, or we're trying to achieve a common goal, which is, a working software. So we're saying that opinion matters at this point. We need to listen to everyone, not just ourselves. Sometimes we think we know it all. We want to push our ideas, our suggestions. It matters better than more than everyone. And we don't want to listen to the other person. And sometimes you have your opinion, you have suggestions. They are great suggestions, but because you don't know how to communicate, or because you're scared of speaking in public or to your team, you just keep it to yourself. And at the end of the day, something happens and you're like, oh, we should have done this, and you're like, oh, and I wanted to say we should have done that, but because I didn't speak about it, now we have to. It's like, wasting manpower. So you need to speak all the time. Your opinion matters at every given time. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter how stupid you think your suggestion sounds, but it matters. We need them. We need to gather all those suggestions and, sieve what is more important to us. And sometimes we might not take the opinion at that point, but it doesn't mean that we're not listening to you. So you need to speak out at every time. Requirements must be precise. Every now and then, we try to gather requirements and all. And if you're gathering requirements, even as a tester, you gather requirements also, and also as a product manager too, also gather requirements. But it needs to be precise. Everyone needs to understand the requirements, not just, you're trying to make something too cumbersome, or, speaking too much English. Make it as simple as as it can be. Then we also need to meet beyond the agile. These days, the only time we meet as an agile team is when we are in, sorry, I need the light a minute again. This time, the only time we meet is when we have our agile rituals. Oh, it can be stand up, it can be retrospective, it can be sprint planning or sprint reviews. That's the only time we meet and all. But we're saying that, meet beyond that. It's not just work and you go home. After work, you can meet, casually, informally, and discuss about every other thing. It builds bonding, or bond. What's the word for it? Or what's the correct one? It builds that. It builds friendship. I know you're not in the office to make friends, but I think the more you collaborate or communicate outside of work, the more you you work swiftly. That's what I think. So the next on my list is just a minute. I'm looking at 3 ways. It's not just 3 ways. There are more than 3 ways to improve collaboration between testers and developers. But I'm looking at just these 3 of them. So before I move away from this slide, I would like to ask the audience what other ways they are thinking of collaborating to improve collaboration with testers. But one of them is cross-train developers and testers. Yes, there are trainings that you can actually do for testers and developers, have them in a team and, do these trainings. That way they get to meet themselves and they have, proper discussions about, maybe it can be a particular subject. It can be something on leadership. Everybody needs leadership, right? So it can also be that. And you can also introduce a tester program pairing work style. That way, we come together. It's like almost like pair programming, but this is tester programmer pairing, where a tester comes and tells you, the developers, about their strategy about testing, and also if you don't know how to code, a developer can tell you about how to code or teach you how to code. You just need something really basic, and that way you understand how these developers think, and that way developers understand your test strategies. Sometimes you write out test strategies and all, they're not willing to look at that. They just want to move on. But if we have things like this, everyone will collaborate and understand each other. Then you can also offer a collaborative informal environment. Like I always say, let's do this out of the office. Let's go out there. Have fun with ourselves. But it brings us together as a team. And I don't have, when it comes to collaboration, it's actually, it's not a topic that you want to deep dive. There's nothing into it. It's just, I think it's a way of life when it comes to software development. It is something you need to, it should be something you wear on your neck, like your neck chain, your dog tag. It's something you should keep on, trying to improve. All of us, we might think we're collaborating. Sometimes in my office, they're like, no, Kaka, you did not carry, you did not say this, you did not do that. And I'm thinking, no, now, as in we did it, we built this thing now. I said this and I wrote the tickets. I actually, stated, the acceptance criteria, but I did not communicate. Someone buzzed me and I just said, okay, I'll talk to you later. And I just went there because I was busy. But we need to communicate. Communication is not just writing those tickets, processes, following processes and using those tools. It is calling that developer and telling him, okay, fine, I see you have a question about what I just said. Or setting up a meeting with him or her. Say, okay, fine, I see what you're asking. Okay, can you explain this to me? Or this is what I think. What do you think? It is not about just, sending messages through ticketing and all and moving on. To be a collaborative team is not a difficult task. It is not a rocket science. It is easy as you can, as you can see now. Just it's something we all have in ourselves, but I don't think, sometimes you think you're actually collaborating, but you're not. But when you think about collaboration, do not think collaboration as, okay, fine, we built the software together. Think of it, okay, when you built that software, how did you build the software? Did you guys collaborate? Yeah, collaboration, yes, we sent messages and no, not just that. Did you communicate? And, that's what we want to look at. That's what Agile is talking about, individuals and listen over processes and tools. So I think that, yes, I don't have, it's not going to be a lengthy slide, but it's going to be really short. And that is the end of my, what do you call it? Oh, yeah, so I'm done today. So if you have questions, and we can, answer those questions for you. Toby is here today, so yeah, we can all answer the questions.
Thank you very much. And yeah, Toby's not here.
Oh, really?
Okay, that's a joke. So yeah, thank you very much. That was an awesome session. Yeah, if you have any question, guys, just raise up your hand and I'll ask you to unmute. If you don't want to unmute, you can just drop your question on the chat. I'll surely read that out.
Why every night shaking his face?
Do we have any question?
I was saying something. Okay, if you don't have, okay, good evening.
Yes, I came in a little bit late and I saw something about Agile Manifesto and collaboration. Okay, so please, I don't know if you can just kindly summarize it again, what it means. And I saw something about meet beyond the Agile. I just want a little bit of clarification on that. Would appreciate that.
So, okay. So how do you do it, Mubarak?
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Funke. You're going to get a recording of the session where you get the opportunity to look into that after that. So let's not just try to.
Okay.
I can just you know, maybe go back to what I said about the 4 values of Agile Manifesto. You know what the Agile methodology is, right? Today we are working in an Agile environment. Most of our software teams, they work in an Agile environment. So, you know, if you understand what we're talking about today, we're talking about collaboration, why we should collaborate more as QA engineers or testers, why we should collaborate more. So I was saying that the Agile Manifesto, you know, focuses on the 4, you know, it has 4 values, which you can see on the screen, and 2 focuses on collaboration. 1 is individuals and interactions over processes and tools. What does this mean? It means that today, you know, we put too much importance on processes and tools. You know, in organizations today, they have processes they have to follow. You know, look, is there a process to do this, or are there tools to use to do this? So we have, I don't know if you know Jira. Jira is where you create tickets, issues. You create a board and you create issues. So developers go there and pick, you know, you assign a task to a developer and they pick these things. You know, sometimes we think we're collaborating because we're creating tickets and explaining what the ticket needs to do. But we don't know that when Agile talks about collaboration, they're saying that, see, you know what, we prefer individuals and interact with people rather than just processes and tools. So we're saying that do not focus on your processes and tools. You can even drop them, but as long as you can communicate with your developers, your product managers, and all, I think is the key to you know, building a better team. Then they are looking at also customer collaboration over contract negotiation. There are contracts where you've signed and all, and we just, you know, we're not focusing on what, you know, our customers need and all. So we're saying that, okay, you need to focus on these things. Like, instead of just, you know, burying your head into those contract negotiations, we've signed a contract, let's just do what we have to do and just move on. No, collaborate. Collaborate also means communication. So yeah, that's what we're talking about when Agile is talking. So I'm saying that there are 4 values of the 4 values of Agile Manifesto. You know, focuses on 2 things. And, you know, 2 out of the 4 focuses on collaboration. So I'm saying collaboration is key in everything you do.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kaka. That's really awesome. Yeah. Do we have any other question from anyone? Okay, I guess we all understood the session.
So
yeah, so in addition to what Kaka has just said, another very good thing about communication, some organizations don't tend to care about the level of tools or the number of tools you actually know how to make use of. They tend to care a lot more about how you get to come in and be a team player, how well you can collaborate, communicate, and do things effectively. And usually, yes, for you to be a manager, a lead, one of the most important things you need is collaboration. You can't be a manager or a team lead, or in fact, you are not qualified to call yourself a senior person yet if you can't communicate effectively or collaborate. What makes you cool in all these places, what makes you good in all these situations is the fact that you get to collaborate effectively. So collaboration for me is a very, very good, is a very big topic, and it's something I think we should all hold on to. Another thing to it is collaboration does not just make you, it doesn't just make you better, it helps make you a different person entirely. So usually there are situations where, or let me say, testers are usually seen as, those guys that don't really care and they just care about coming up, picking up a guy's ticket and probably just moving into the field, on the board. That's usually what they see testers are. And we don't usually have that urge, everyone wants to suppress the urge to shalaye. You don't have that energy, you don't have that strength. You just feel like, I don't care what you think. I just want to do my job and go home. Yeah, that's usually the way we think. I was once like that. And what you care about when someone tells you, this thing works on my local is, are you joking with me? It works on your local. What's my problem with that? But what collaboration brings in this situation is you let the person understand why and what you want to achieve. Collaboration brings about you and every member of the team trying to come together, build yourself. I know a software tester who happens to be an SDET guy now, who starts learning programming by virtue of his relationships over with the dev guys. I know a C# automation engineer who even gets the developers to implement things for him on his scripts, and it still works, right? So collaboration and communication are two things that needs to go hand in hand. You can't collaborate effectively if you don't communicate, and you can't communicate effectively without collaborating. There are just two things. You can't do away with one and try to hold the other one. You just have to hold the guys together. You just have to like tie them together, make them cool. So that's what makes us very good. Thank you very much, Kaka. This has been an awesome session. And yeah, I feel like we should have stopped. I want you to keep going.
If I may add, so if I may
Yeah.
add, we're all, some of us are just, starting our career as, software testers and all, and we're thinking we don't know it well, that much. But we're saying today that even if you don't know it, collaboration can help you succeed as a tester, or, getting into a new job. Collaboration can actually help you do it. There are, some of us learned on the job, right? And if you're not collaborating, you'll be fished out. If you're not collaborating, you'll get, tomorrow they're sending you home. But if you collaborate, people are willing to help you to say, okay, fine, I think he or she doesn't know it that much. So you know what? We can help out. Okay, this is what you need to do, and this is what you need to do. And there you can grow. Some of us did it, and we're where we are today because, yeah, we collaborated, we communicated, we had, we spoke outside, we had communication even outside that formal environment. So I know that some of us are just starting. Do not be scared, but as long as you communicate, you collaborate, you work as a team, I think you're going to get to where you want to get to.
Yeah, thank you. I was hoping it gets to that point where you say you aspire to inspire,
Yeah,
we actually say that.
no.
So that's quite very short and interesting insight. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, Kaka. It's nice having you here. Thank you for the awesome session. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, Kaka.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kaka, you are great. Thank you. We are very grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful too. Why did I not send this since?